Good evening and welcome to the Sullivan Center on the campus of the University of St. Francis, the home of the Fighting Saints, where we will get game number 2 and 3 tonight of the USF Thanksgiving Classic. Last night, MidAmerica Nazarene was able to take the opener of this annual event. They took down East-West University by 28, so a good start to their trip to Joliet. First time this school has ever taken a trip to Joliet, and today they get to see the hosts. It's MidAmerica Nazarene against St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for tonight's game as E.J. Charles and Cameron Brady head to center court for the opening tip of tonight's game. St. Francis, the home team today in white. They're going from right to left to start things out. MidAmerica Nazarene in navy blue, and they're going from left to right as we get things going with St. Francis taking the tip and Russell Tillery leading the offense on their first possession. Carlos Tavias holds it up top and dribbles it off to the right side. Here's E.J. Charles down low to Tillery. Tillery in the post against Trey Brown. Turns to face the basket and passes back outside Joey Bajemi. E.J. Charles resets with 10 on the shot clock. Charles picks up his dribble, passes over to Tillery. Russell Tillery drives, kicks Tavias with the shot clock running down. Carlos Tavias knocks down the three. Couldn't have asked for a better start for St. Francis on their opening possession. They make the Pioneers' defense work for 30 seconds and ultimately come away with 3 points out of it. So now MidAmerica Nazarene gets their first chance of the game offensively, and it's Trey Brown controlling the ball outside. Brown makes a move in on Charles, circles the basket, pulls it back outside. 20 seconds gone already on the shot clock. Brown's been holding it for a while, now picks up his dribble and passes to the right. Three-point attempt is good from Darnell Miller, and this game is tied. Carbon copy of the Saints' possession. They hold the ball for 30 seconds, end up knocking down the three. Not quite as much ball movement for MidAmerica Nazarene, but the same result. Now we've got an offensive foul called against St. Francis away from the ball. This one goes against Tillery, I believe. It's Russell Tillery's first. It is the game's first foul. So 3-3 our score right off the bat here. And MidAmerica Nazarene can take their first lead of the night with Trey Brown's pass intercepted by E.J. Charles. Charles against Brady. He loses the ball out of bounds, and the Saints turn it over. So Charles forces a turnover, and he gives it right back up. The Pioneers have it. We're right back where we were a few moments ago with a tie score, and the visiting team with the ball. In case you missed the starting lineups before, it's Trey Brown and Anthony Brown in the backcourt for MidAmerica Nazarene. This is their center, Brady, firing inside where it's intercepted by the Saints center, Lewis Holy. And now whistle, the shot clock didn't reset. So the Saints will inbound it here, and their momentum slowed down a little bit by that one, but they still do have possession. The forwards for MidAmerica Nazarene are Pedro Lopez and Darnell Miller, and Cameron Brady is the center. For St. Francis, it's Tillery and Tavias in the backcourt with a front court of Joey Bajemi, E.J. Charles, and Lewis Holy. Russell Tillery on the outside, guarded loosely by Trey Brown. Tillery crosses over, bounces to a cutting Lewis Holy. Holy goes up, his shot challenged by Pedro Lopez, and unable to finish at the rim. Here come the Pioneers. Cameron Brady down low, stood up by Tillery. Nice defense, but an open shooter, and Trey Brown knocks down another three. Brown's got his first 3 points of the night. MidAmerica Nazarene has now hit twice from beyond the arc, and they've got their first lead very early in this one. E.J. Charles high post, handoff to Tavias. Another 3-point attempt for him. He's 2 of 2. Tavias has this game tied back up as the two sides trade 3-pointers early on. We've not yet seen any success from inside the arc. Lopez will try to change that here, but he traveled. Lopez got around Lewis Holy, but ran into E.J. Charles, and he stuttered his feet in the process. So it's a turnover committed by the Pioneers. The Fighting Saints have possession here, tied up 6-6. A little bit sloppy early on. Both teams have turned it over a few times. The saving grace early on in this one for both sides has been the outside shooting. Here's Russell Tillery up top to Joey Bajemi. Bajemi guarded by Anthony Brown, and a whistle as Lewis Holy hits the ground. Pedro Lopez, the senior from Brazil, is called for the foul on MidAmerica Nazarene. Shot clock resets to 20. Just about 3 minutes into the first half of action. And E.J. Charles receives the inbounds pass and sends it in with two hands. First points of the game for E.J. Charles. The Saints are back in front. Trey Brown at the free throw line, backs it up and passes to Lopez. Now inside, the cutting Brown answers with a dunk of his own. Back and forth we go over the first handful of minutes in this game. Every time St. Francis does something, MidAmerica Nazarene responds in kind, be it a three-pointer or a slam dunk. Russell Tillery holds on the wing. Tillery drives and kicks out to Charles. Three-point attempt. E.J. Charles has 5 in a row for the Saints. Charles, the junior forward, averages 9 points per game. He's more than halfway there already. Here's Brown with the layup. Got it with the left hand. Nice drive by Anthony Brown, who has scored 4 in a row for MidAmerica Nazarene. And their head coach, Rocky Lamar, calls timeout with 16:08 to play in the first half. St. Francis up by 1 over MidAmerica Nazarene. Should be a good game today between two teams that are off to good starts. St. Francis 4-1. Their only loss came on a buzzer-beating shot for Cal St. Joe's back on November the 10th. It was a 1-point loss. And MidAmerica Nazarene, no stranger to close defeats themselves. They're 6-3 this year. All 3 of their losses have been by single digits, and 2 of them against ranked teams. So the records for both of these teams are good, but you can make the argument that both teams have played even better than their records show. So it should be a highly competitive game today, and if the first 4 minutes are any indication, that's exactly what we're going to get. Carter Fahey is in for St. Francis, their first substitute of the game. Lewis Holy gets an early rest. Fahey is one of a handful of reserves for St. Francis who plays big minutes, averaging about 11 per game off the bench. 11 minutes off the bench per game for Ryan Marks, who likes to use his reserves liberally. Carlos Tavias around the perimeter, shovels it off to Tillery and gets it back. Tavias already has 6. He sends it out to Charles. Three-point attempt is blocked by Cameron Brady. The drive and a layup is good from Trey Brown. He's got his second bucket of the night. 5 points for Brown, and MidAmerica Nazarene is back in front. Third time today that MidAmerica Nazarene has held the lead. Russell Tillery finds Tavias in the corner. Here's E.J. Charles backing in on Cameron Brady with a double team. He sends it out to Fahey behind the three-point line. Fahey misses short on the 3-ball attempt. Here come the Pioneers. Cameron Brady, 6'7" forward, hands it off to Anthony Brown. Brown against a double team, kicks it back out to Brady. Three-pointer is good. MidAmerica Nazarene has scored the last 7 points consecutively. And for the first time tonight, the Pioneers are ahead by 2 scores. Neither team had led by 2 possessions prior to this. Tavias tries to get those 3 back, and he does. Carlos Tavias, red hot out of the gate. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. He's got more than half of St. Francis's 14 points. Here's Brady backing in. Turnaround off the glass, comes up short. Fahey comes down with the rebound. Tillery pushing the pace the other way. Tillery floats it out towards Tavias, but it's intercepted by Trey Brown. Or rather, Darnell Miller. Bounced inside Brady. Lopez backing up. He passes out to Miller. Miller for 3. No good. 5 points so far in the game for Miller. Not able to add to it there. But the rebound is deflected out by St. Francis. And the ball remains with the Pioneers as both teams go to the bench. Jake Alexander and Drew Smith are in for the Pioneers. Saints bring in Rehana Maxwell-Topia and Lewis McGlasson. Maxwell-Topia, 14 minutes a game off the bench. McGlasson, 16. Like I said, a lot of guys are getting big minutes off the bench for the Saints this year. Here's a drive from Brown and a throwdown by Anthony Brown, his second dunk of the game. The Pioneers back ahead by 3. Just over 6 minutes into the game. MidAmerica Nazarene was victorious here last night. So they're undefeated all time here at the Sullivan Center, 1-0. Saints have not lost here this year either. They're 3-0 at home. Tillery against a double team, passes out to McGlasson. McGlasson to Fahey, 2 on the shot clock. Carter Fahey throws it up and deadens it off the back iron. He gets the roll. Carter Fahey with the shot clock expiring makes it a 1-point game. Trey Brown into the lane. Brown goes underneath the defense of Fahey, passes to Brady, gets it back and scores on the 3. Trey Brown scores from long range. Brown's got 6 points. Fahey with 15 on the shot clock, throws it outside towards McGlasson. It's intercepted by Jake Alexander. Alexander misses on the dunk. Right there with the rebound, Drew Smith misses on the follow, but they'll get a third chance on this possession. Here's Brown. Brown kicks it into the corner. 3-point attempt, rims out for Smith, and another offensive rebound. Fourth chance of the possession. Tobias pokes it away from behind. Smith gets it back and scores. They nearly turned it over. They missed 3 shots on the possession. Still, they end up with 2 points. Good work by MidAmerica Nazarene to stick with it and build the lead all the way up to 6. Russell Tillery in possession for St. Francis. Tillery to Fahey. Open look for 3. Fahey knocks it down. 5 points for Carter Fahey. And the Saints are hanging around here. Neither team has been able to create any separation early on. Drew Smith drives on Tobias. Passes outside to Brown. Anthony Brown fakes the shot. Drives inside. Stripped by Fahey. Loose ball picked up by Rihanna Maxwell-Topia. Here come the Saints. The defense gets back effectively for the Pioneers, and St. Francis has to slow it down. This is Fahey. Well outside. He hands it off to Lewis McGlasson, a good shooter, and McGlasson shows it right there. We're tied at 22. Timeout called by St. Francis. 11:25 to play in the first half, and we are going back and forth in the first half here today. This is the 3rd time we've been tied. Make that the 2nd time we've been tied. We've seen 3 lead changes so far, and both teams have been shooting the ball extremely well to start play today, as evidenced by the high score we've already got on the board. MidAmerica Nazarene has hit 64% of their shots so far, including 4 of 6 from 3-point range. Saints are even better, 73%, 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. The one thing holding back St. Francis right now is they cannot clear the defensive boards. 4 offensive rebounds already for MidAmerica Nazarene. St. Francis has just 1 rebound in total. So it's 22-22 coming out of the timeout. The Pioneers have possession. And it's Trey Brown handling the ball. He passes off to Drew Smith. Smith gets it right back from Jake Alexander. Working the outside here. Brown guarded by Nadav Gurner, sophomore reserve guard who came in during the break. A near steal for Darius Wright, who also came in during the timeout. And a double dribble called against Pedro Lopez. Saints apply the defensive pressure, and ultimately that leads to a mistake from Lopez after the Pioneers were kind of taken out of sorts offensively on that whole possession. Maxwell-Topia, Wright, McGlasson, Holy, and Gurner are the 5 on the floor right now for St. Francis. Lewis Holy takes it inside, and he's called for the travel. A lot of turnovers early in this game. That's number 10 overall. Each team has committed 5 of them. That has been the sour point early in the game, but that sourness tempered by the red-hot shooting for both sides, which has made this a fast-paced shootout early on. Bounced inside, and a foul called on Nadav Gurner, who was guarding the much bigger Pedro Lopez down low. First foul on Gurner. It's the 2nd on the team. And there's the 2nd on MidAmerica Nazarene. Foul called on the inbounds play. And it goes on Pedro Lopez. That's Lopez's second foul. So with 10.5 minutes still to play in the first half, he has to head to the bench and will very likely be there the rest of the half, or at least most of it. Pedro Lopez averages 3.5 points per game, about the same amount of rebounds this season for the Pioneers. McGlasson on the little leaner, no good off the iron, and the rebound goes to Cameron Brady. Here's Trey Brown pulling up just inside the free throw line. He misses short. Offensive rebound. Brady kicks it back outside. Here's Anthony Brown. Brown drives, gets some contact. No foul called as he kicks it out into the corner. A drive from Daryl Miller. That shot is blocked. Saints come up with the stop. Here's Nadav Gurner. Beautiful crossover. Bounces inside. Maxwell Topia. Reverse layup is good. It all started with the great dribbling from Nadav Gurner. He picks up the assist as Rehana Maxwell Topia scores on a pretty layup, his first 2 points. Foul on St. Francis. So all of a sudden, the game slowing down a little bit by fouls. That's number 1 on Rehana Maxwell Topia. St. Francis has the lead. They've scored the last 8 points in a row. Here's Miller. Darnell Miller guarded by Gurner. Step back 3. Rims out. Fight for the rebound. Won by Brady. Back up. No. And Holy comes down with it. Finally a rebound for the Saints. They have been tough to come by in this game. It's only number 3 of the night. Darius Wright misses on the 3. Rebound grabbed by Anthony Brown. This is Trey Brown. Brown drives on Gurner. Fade away. He does not get the bounce. Holy comes down with his second rebound in a row. Darius Wright streaks by a couple of defenders. Lays it up with a left hand and in. 26-22. It's a 10-0 run for St. Francis. 8:45 to play in the first half. Trey Brown walks it up, shadowed by Nadav Gurner. Cameron Brady. Hand off to Anthony Brown. Brown drives inside, forces it up, no good. Wanted a foul, no call. Rehana Maxwell Topia handles it for the Saints. He loses control and he is fouled as the ball squirts out of bounds. Rehana Maxwell Topia goes to the free throw line. Our first free throws of the night. Maxwell Topia is 2 of 4 from the line so far this season. And he hits on the first one right here. That makes it 11 straight points for the Saints, who have their biggest lead of the game now. 6 is the largest for MidAmerica Nazarene. And the Saints have matched them with a 6-point lead of their own. The Pioneers are in a lull here. They have not scored in over 4.5 minutes. Here's Cameron Brady. Guarded by Holy. He hands it off to Brown. Trey Brown spins into the lane. Can't get Maxwell Topia on the fake. Puts it up over Maxwell Topia anyway and scores. Nice play by Trey Brown to get the Pioneers back on the board. That snaps a 12-0 run. Their first points in nearly 5 minutes played, and they trail by just 4. Lewis McGlasson around a screen to the right side, stripped and taken away. Miller fires it into Anthony Brown. Offensive foul. Brown out of control on the drive, called for the foul, his first, I believe. Sorry, that's actually number 2 on Anthony Brown, so that's a critical one for the leading scorer this season for MidAmerica Nazarene. 19 points a game. Had a good one yesterday in the win over East-West University. East-West will be back out here later tonight taking on William Woods. Gerner up top to Joey Bujemi. Here's Jalen Bates. Poked away from E.J. Charles on the pass. 10 on the shot clock. Bujemi drives. Fadeaway jumper from the corner. Misses short. Bates with the tip. Keeps it alive to Wright. Wright can't keep it alive, though, as it's taken away by Darnell Miller. Brown drives into the paint. Picks up his dribble. Kicks it out to Miller. Nice fake from Miller. He works his way inside, and he's fouled by E.J. Charles, who picks up his second. Fourth foul on the team. Darnell Miller to the line. Miller got off to a good start today. Scored the first 3 points of the game for MidAmerica Nazarene. Scores one right here as well. He's got 6 points. Miller's 68% from the line. And he makes them both. So after trailing by 6, MidAmerica Nazarene has scored 4 consecutive points and has cut the deficit back to a single possession. Adad Gerner holds it for St. Francis. Dished out to Charles. Charles drives inside. Offensive foul. Number 3 on E.J. Charles as Trey Brown stands in and takes the contact. This was the problem that E.J. Charles had last year. Always an impact player when he was out there. Not out there often enough, though, because of foul trouble. And here today we see him with 5 early points, but 3 fouls committed in just 7 minutes. And so he'll be on the bench for a while. Carter Fahey back in. Fahey, Bates, Bujemi, Wright, and Gerner on the floor for the Fighting Saints. Jake Alexander is the inbounder for MidAmerica Nazarene. Darnell Miller walks it up the floor. Miller guarded by Gerner, drives by him with the left hand, all the way to the hoop, lays it in, we're tied. Six in a row for MidAmerica Nazarene. Now it's the Saints in a drought. Joey Bujemi inside, lays it in. And that snaps more than 2 minutes without a point for the Fighting Saints. They lead once again. First 2 points of the game for Joey Bujemi, who entered play today, leading the team, 14 a game. Bates nearly stripped it away from Alexander. Pioneers got it back. Here's Brady. Cameron Brady, long 2-point jumper, no good, rebounded by Wright. Wright shovels it off to Fahey, and Fahey sets up the offense from up top. Bounce to Bates, just outside the free throw line. Off to Wright, in and out of his hands and out of bounds. Mishandled there by Darius Wright. And he will head out of the game. Russell Tillery, Carlos Tavias back in. Gerner sits down along with Wright. 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Very competitive first half. Each team has led by as many as 6 points. We've seen a handful of lead changes early on, a couple of ties. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Jake Alexander. Good defense by Bates. Bujemi gets the pass from Tillery. Lobbed over to Carter Fahey. Fahey turns to face the basket, dribbles inside, fake, second chance up is good. Nice drive by Carter Fahey, good body control for him as he's able to get one man in the air on the fake, score on the layup. Fahey's playing very effectively so far today. Big minutes in the first half for Fahey. That shot contested by Fahey, does not go for Cameron Brady. Thrown away, intercepted by Brady. Brady on the other end lays it in. Two-point game for Joey Bujemi, who passes off to Carter Fahey. Carlos Tobias right side. A whistle and a defensive foul. This against the senior Drew Smith. And number 5 on MidAmerica Nazarene. So neither team yet in the bonus. Saints will inbound from the baseline here with Russell Tillery doing the honors. Tillery's pass goes out of bounds. Saints unable to inbound it. Good defense from MidAmerica Nazarene. And the Pioneers can tie or reclaim the lead on this possession. It's Trey Brown guarded by Tillery. Brown crosses over, gets the screen down to the corner. Kicked outside, Smith, drive and kick. Alexander for 3, off the front rim. Rebound tracked down by Drew Smith. The possession continues for MidAmerica Nazarene. They grab their 7th offensive rebound of the night. Smith for 3, took a step beforehand. Traveling violation is the call. 10th turnover already tonight for the Pioneers. The Saints have turned it over 10 times as well. Holy is in for Bates. Maxwell Topia in for Fahey. Bates and Fahey have each given Ryan Marks some good minutes of relief work tonight. Carlos Tobias has a game-high 9 points on 3 3-pointers. This is Tobias in the corner. Thought about the 3, fakes it again, now he drives. Throws it up for Holy, but the two of them not on the same page. The ball goes out of bounds. Tobias looking for Holy. It's a turnover. Number 11 committed by St. Francis. Saints are still shooting extremely well, but not getting as many shots up as they'd like. The scoring has slowed down considerably here. Darnell Miller all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. Pretty drive, Darnell Miller. Tie game, 32 all. 4th tie we've had tonight. Russell Tillery to Tobias in the corner. Tobias steps out and takes a 3, no good. Rebound tracked down by Trey Brown, pushes it ahead to Miller. Miller, 3-pointer, in and out. Rebounded by Holy, and now the Saints want to run. Russell Tillery takes it into the teeth of the defense. Offensive foul. Charge called against Russell Tillery. That's number 6 of the half against St. Francis. Tillery picks up his first. Turnover number 12 of the half. Saints are going through another drought here. MidAmerica Nazarene hasn't really taken advantage. They have slowed down offensively, now shooting under 50% for the game. Trey Brown sets up the offense. Anthony Brown playing with 2 fouls, puts it up with the right hand, does not get the roll. Rebound Holy. Joey Bujemi for 3, no good. Rebound goes to Drew Smith. Drew Smith across half court. Smith takes it inside, lays it up and in. Russell Tillery tried to stand in and take the charge. No call made. The whistle blew after the basket. I think They gave Tillery a warning for flopping. But no call against St. Francis. And now trails by 2 points. They've been down by as many as 6, but they've been up by as many as 6. Here's Maxwell Topia faking the handoff. Now he gives it to Tobias, nearly lost. Drew Smith in on defense. Tobias dribbles it off of Smith into the backcourt. Smith trying to tell the official Tobias dribbled that one off of himself. It should have been a backcourt violation. But Carlos Tobias ends up making lemonade out of those lemons. He takes it to the hoop and draws the foul. Carlos Tobias at the free throw line, looking to tie the score, makes the first free throw. First point for St. Francis in over 3 minutes. And we are tied again. Lewis McGlasson is back in the game for St. Francis. A minute 47 to play in the half. It has been very close. Both teams have spent a significant portion of this half in front. So fittingly, we're tied coming down the stretch here. Brady, jump pass to the wing. Three-pointer is good for Trey Brown. Hey, they don't call him Trey for nothing. Presumably they call him that because it's his name, but it works as a nickname too. He's 3 of 3 from beyond the arc today. Trey Brown, a 36% three-point shooter for the season. He's got 11 points. Matches Darnell Miller as the game high. Saints will get the inbounds play on the kick here. Tillery looking for help, finds it in Joey Bajemi. Bajemi works his way out of traffic. 2-point jumper is good in the paint. Joey Bajemi gets the Saints back within 1. And an injured man for MidAmerica Nazarene. Jake Alexander limping a little bit as he walks off the floor. Darnell Miller back in. Final minute of play here in the first half. MidAmerica Nazarene trying to win their second game in as many nights here at St. Francis. Fighting Saints looking to start their weekend off on a high note. They'll play again tomorrow. Here's Miller. Darnell Miller drives, stumbles, and he's fouled. It's the 7th foul against St. Francis, so Darnell Miller has earned himself a 1-and-1 from the line. First foul on Carlos Tobias. Miller, not a great free throw shooter, but he did make 2 of 2 in his last trip. Run end of the 1-and-1 is good, extending the lead to 2 points. One more here for Miller, who's already got 12 points today. Miller misses on the second. Rebound knocked around and brought in by Jake Alexander. Here's Miller again on the drive out of his hands. Tries to save it, but right at Russell Tillery. Tillery on the move, fouled by Trey Brown. And Russell Tillery will head to the free throw line. An intentional foul there on Brown. He got Tillery just as Tillery was running past. A split second later, and we're looking at a clear path foul there, but he was in front of Tillery when he got him. So Tillery makes the first, and the 1-and-1. We're tied once again, 38 all. One more here for the second-year St. Francis senior. This is his second year as a senior. Second year with St. Francis as well. Saints have the lead. Or they've tied it up, rather. Sorry, 38 all. Here's Trey Brown. About a second difference between the shot and game clock here. Actually, shot clock's off. The second difference is in the wrong direction. Layup for Cameron Brady is good. Saints will try to score before the buzzer here. 3 seconds. Tillery loses the ball, out of bounds. It belongs to MidAmerica Nazarene with exactly 1 second showing on the clock. So it looks like MidAmerica Nazarene will go into halftime with a lead. Saints will make it a little bit more difficult to inbound here. They would need a quick catch and shoot. Into Brown, one dribble, fires it almost the length of the floor, and he can't connect to end the half. So it is halftime. MidAmerica Nazarene has the lead, but it's a small one. 40-38 is our score. Very evenly matched. An exciting first half. Hopefully more of that in store for us in the second half of this game. We've got 20 minutes still to play, but first a 15-minute intermission. So I'll step aside and take a break here. Back with you in about 15 minutes to get you some first half stats. And then second half action. St. Francis, MidAmerica Nazarene, close at the half. Just about set to start half number 2 here. St. Francis against MidAmerica Nazarene. Very exciting first half of action. A lot of turnovers. 13 committed by St. Francis, 10 by MidAmerica Nazarene. But other than that, sharp shooting, back and forth action. Very fun first half with MidAmerica Nazarene leading by 2. We've seen the lead change hands, though, 5 times. We've seen 8 total ties in today's game, and it has never been more than 6 points ahead for either side. Each team has had one 6-point lead. Leading scorers so far, Darnell Miller's got 12. Trey Brown has 11 for MidAmerica Nazarene. Carlos Tobias leads St. Francis with 11 points. Carter Fahey's got 7 off the bench. 5 rebounds for Lewis Holy leads both teams. Russell Tillery leads both sides with 5 assists. Fighting Saints are being out-rebounded overall 16-10. Big part of the reason they're down right now, despite having shot 59% from the field, including 6 of 11 on three-pointers. MidAmerica Nazarene has shot the ball well, too. They're at 50% overall, 5 of 10 on three-pointers. Just about set to start the second half. MidAmerica Nazarene will begin with the ball here. They've got their starters on the floor, including Pedro Lopez, who sat most of the first half in foul trouble. Anthony Brown in foul trouble as well. He was in and out of the lineup. He's picked up 2 of them so far. E.J. Charles has committed 3 fouls for St. Francis, and as a result of that, he starts the second half on the bench for the Fighting Saints. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia is in for him as we get back underway, and a travel called very quickly on Trey Brown. So after that turnover-filled first half, no change as we start the second half. Brown is called for the walk, and that's the 11th turnover so far today for MidAmerica Nazarene. Pioneers trying to pick up their second win in as many days here in Joliet. Brown nearly takes it away from Tillery. Lewis Holy backs in on Pedro Lopez. Holy passes out to Tillery. Tillery bounces back to Holy, kicks to Bajemi. Over to Rihanna Maxwell-Topia, and he's called for the travel. A win for the Pioneers today would be their 3rd in a row overall and their 5th in their last 6 games. St. Francis is trying to win their 4th consecutive game and their 5th in 6 games to start the season. Ugly start to the second half as both teams have turned it over once. MidAmerica Nazarene lobs it in, and Anthony Brown is able to lay it up off the feed from Cameron Brady. Nicely executed by the Pioneers there. Brown has his first 2 points and the first 2 points of the half. It's his 7th and 8th points of the game, and those are big for the Pioneers' leading scorer this season. Slow going in the first half, largely due to his foul problems. Tillery gets underneath the basket, went a little bit too far, nearly threw it away. Kept alive, though, by Maxwell-Topia and Holy. Here's Joey Bajemi for 3. No good. A fight for the rebound, won by Trey Brown. Pioneers take it the other way. A drive from Darnell Miller. Miller takes it up over Holy and scores a high arcer off the glass for Darnell Miller. And he gives MidAmerica Nazarene a 6-point lead. 14 points in the game now for Miller. He averages about 12 per game for the season. 6 points matches the biggest deficit of the game for St. Francis. And Lewis Holy turns it over once again. An offensive foul called as he backs in on Pedro Lopez. Risky play by Lopez as he went down, trying to draw the charge. He could have been called for his 3rd foul, but instead Holy is called for his 2nd. Trey Brown passes off to Cameron Brady. MidAmerica Nazarene looks to extend their lead. We are tied at 38 late in the first half, so they've already scored 6 in a row. Brady throws it out to Brown, back to the corner, Cameron Brady. Brady drives on his fellow number 0, throws it up in the air, tipped by Tobias, but picked up by Darnell Miller, who lays it up and in. A broken play turns to gold for the Pioneers. They're on an 8-0 run, and they've got their biggest lead of the night. St. Francis has not scored in about 3 minutes of action, which actually amounts to over 20 minutes of real time because it includes halftime. Joey Bajemi dribbles it off his foot, gets it back, throws off to Tillery. Into the corner, Maxwell-Topia for 3. No good. Rebound grabbed by Anthony Brown. Here come the Pioneers once again. Brown to Brown. The three-pointer, no good from Anthony Brown. Rebound, Pedro Lopez, but he's called for a push-off in order to get that rebound. And so the loose ball foul gives it back to St. Francis. Well, they needed that. Their offense is really struggling right now. So coming up with a stop on the defensive end is a good first step as they try to get themselves into better position in this game, back where they've been most of the game. Carlos Tobias for three. That's good. Fourth three-pointer of the game for Carlos Tobias. He's got 14 points to lead the Fighting Saints, and that was just what the doctor ordered. The foul called on MidAmerica Nazarene to turn it over, followed by the three-pointer for Tobias. Pioneers look to get that back. Here's Anthony Brown on the drive. Floats it up over Holy and in. Beautiful finish from Anthony Brown. 7-point lead for the Pioneers. 3.5 minutes into the second half. Joey Bujemi up to Russell Tillery. Here's Tobias. Bujemi once again, guarded by Anthony Brown. Lobbed for Rehana Maxwell-Topia, but deflected into the air. Taken away by Cameron Brady. The Saints turn it over again. Their 16th turnover already today. Trey Brown lobs it down low for Brady, and Brady is held by Carlos Tobias. Second foul on Tobias. E.J. Charles has 3 fouls. He's been on the bench for a while, played only 7 minutes in the first half, but he checks back in along with Carter Fahey. Charles was playing very well to start the game prior to that foul trouble. So Ryan Marks is hoping that he can get back to where he was in the first half and avoid any further infractions. Lopez spins around Fahey, up with the right hand and in. Nice work by Pedro Lopez with the ball. He makes it a 9-point game. MidAmerica Nazarene has outscored St. Francis 10-3 so far this half. Tobias bounces to Charles at the free throw line. E.J. Charles kicks it into the corner. Open look for Tillery. Got the three. Saints are 8 of 15 from beyond the arc as Cameron Brady draws the foul, and that is number 4 on E.J. Charles. So he checks in, and within the first 30 seconds out there, picks up another one. Brady goes to the line for 2 shots, and you hate to give up a free layup, but in that case, E.J. Charles kind of has to. Brady makes the first free throw. At this stage of the game, those 2 points are much less detrimental than the 4th foul. Charles is staying in there. Brady makes both free throws. 52-44. MidAmerica Nazarene has been very efficient offensively to start this second half. Bounced into Charles, deflected away by Brady. And Charles is called for his 5th foul. Trying to get the ball back. So E.J. Charles is done for the day. 5 points, 2 assists, 1 steal. And in just 8 minutes, he picks up his 5th foul. And a timeout called with 15-17 to play in the second half. It's a big loss for St. Francis. They'll be without one of their starters and one of their top contributors the rest of the way. E.J. Charles came into today averaging 9 points, 9 rebounds a game. Didn't grab a single rebound today, and that's been a problem for the Saints as a team overall. They're being out-rebounded 18-11. Only Lewis Holy has more than 2 boards for the Fighting Saints today. And the Saints will probably be asking a little bit more from Holy with Charles on the bench the rest of the way. Holy hasn't scored today. He's only taken 1 shot, and credit to MidAmerica Nazarene for taking him away. But the Saints, you would think, would make a more concerted effort the rest of the way to get the ball to their center down low. He's shooting 72% from the field on the season. And that's a guy you'd like to see taking more than 1 shot to this stage of the game. They haven't necessarily needed to get it inside as much because their outside shooting has been so sharp. 8 of 15 from three-point range. That includes 4 for 5 for their senior guard, Carlos Tobias, who's got a team-leading 14 points. MidAmerica Nazarene is led by Darnell Miller, who has 16 points. 6 of 10 shooting for Miller, who has had his struggles shooting the basketball at times this season. So a big positive for Rocky Lamar to see his senior Miller so efficient from the field so far today. Miller is 2 of 2 from the field this half. In fact, MidAmerica Nazarene as a team 5 of 6 shooting the basketball this half, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Russell Tillery strips it from Brown. Loose ball picked up by Bujemi. Joey Bujemi takes it in, lays it up and in. A steal and 2 points for St. Francis. Huge play right there for the home team. Trying to keep themselves alive in this thing. A long way still to go. Bujemi knocks that pass loose and picked up by Carter Fahey. Credit as well to Russell Tillery. Another quick hands defensive play. Carlos Tobias on the left side of the floor. Passes up to Joey Bujemi. Bujemi pulls up inside the arc. Jumper is good. Joey Bujemi feeling it now. He's got 4 consecutive points, 8 in the game for the senior. And now just a 4-point deficit. Pioneers were ahead by 9 just moments ago. Here's Brady, handing it off to Anthony Brown. Brown crosses over, ball stripped, picked up by Pedro Lopez. The possession continues for the Pioneers with just 10 to shoot. Trey Brown, long 3, high in the air, and he gets it to go. Trey Brown knocks down his 4th three-pointer of the game in as many attempts, and a huge one right there as the Saints had captured momentum. The Pioneers get it back. Now 6 of 12 as a team from beyond the arc. Again, Brown is 4 for 4. He and Carlos Tobias have been going head-to-head, exchanging 3-point buckets today. The lead is back up to 7 for the Pioneers, who have led this entire half so far. The first half, we consistently went back and forth. It was tied at 38 in the final minute of the half. MidAmerica Nazarene scored the last 2 points before halftime, and then they opened up this half with a good run as well. At one point, they had scored 8 in a row. The lead currently is 7. Both teams continue to shoot the ball well. Saints' problem right now is holding on to the basketball. They've turned it over 4 times already this half. 17 for the game. Carlos Tobias in traffic. Works out of it, guarded by Drew Smith. Tobias has a foul called on MidAmerica Nazarene. I think that was actually away from the ball. A grab came against Rihanna Maxwell Topia. The 3rd foul on Drew Smith. Shot clock at 20 for Joey Bujemi. Sends it into Tillery at half court. Saints set it up. Bounce to Maxwell Topia. He's guarded by Jake Alexander. Maxwell Topia bounces to Tillery. Coming down the baseline. The reverse layup is good. What a beautiful pass and cut. And Russell Tillery finishes strong at the rim. Great play for the Fighting Saints. Trey Brown in some trouble. Brown fadeaway foul. Foul is called on Russell Tillery. Number 2 on Tillery. Trey Brown to the free throw line. First foul shot misses from an 82% free throw shooter. Lewis McGlasson and Darius Wright are back in for the Fighting Saints. Tobias and Bujemi get their first rests of the second half. Brown makes one of two. Two-possession game here with just over 13 to play. Tillery directs traffic and walks to the right. Up top to Lewis McGlasson. Here's Darius Wright on the left wing. Gets the screen. Wright cuts down the lane. Pass deflected out of bounds by Cameron Brady. It stays with the Saints. Tillery is the inbounder. Into Fahey, handed back to Russell Tillery. Tillery with 8 to shoot, passes off to Maxwell Topia. Here's Lewis McGlasson. McGlasson turnaround jumper is blocked. A fight to get the ball back, knocked to the baseline. Out of bounds off of Darius Wright. Saints come up empty on that possession. Pioneers basketball. Suddenly the scoring has slowed down a little bit for both teams. Here's Miller on the drive. Miller misses off the glass. Rebound out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. That was just their second miss of the half. In fact, going back to the end of the first half, prior to that missed shot, MidAmerica Nazarene had been 9 of their last 10. But even after the miss, they got another chance here. The rebound is knocked out of bounds by the Saints. Trey Brown, deep three-pointer. He is feeling it tonight. Trey Brown, 5 of 5. And that one was well behind the line. The lead is back up to 9 for the Pioneers. Saints need a spark here. High dribble from Tillery. Passes off to Maxwell Topia. Rihanna Maxwell Topia drives. Layup, no. Rebounded by Anthony Brown. Brown passes out to Trey Brown. 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. Brown backs up, gets the screen, now drives inside. Brown shovels it off. Alexander, layup, no. Anthony Brown with the follow, puts it in. And MidAmerica Nazarene is just killing St. Francis right now on the offensive glass. That is their 9th offensive rebound. And St. Francis as a team has just 11 total rebounds today. Second chance points, 7-0 in favor of MidAmerica Nazarene. Their lead is 11. Timeout is called, 61-50 with 11:45 to play here in the second half. In this game, which was so tight the entire first half, back and forth, all of a sudden has decisively gone towards MidAmerica Nazarene's direction. Saints certainly have the firepower to get themselves back into it. They're shooting better than 50% on three-pointers today. They score 85 points per game for the season. So this is no time to count them out, but they've got to get going in a hurry, and more than anything, they've got to get a stop. Seems like every defensive stop they come up with is turned into a second chance for MidAmerica Nazarene. Nadav Gerner holds the ball for the Saints. He's out there with Wright, Bajemi, Holy, and McGlasson. Joey Bajemi backs it up. Bajemi drives the lane, lays it up and in. Nice drive on Anthony Brown and a good finish for Joey Bajemi, who now has 10 points. He's the Saints' leading scorer this year, one of 3 players averaging in double figures. He's one of 6, averaging 9 points or better. Trey Brown for 3. That one's off. That one may have been one of the better looks he's gotten all game. But it's his first miss, now 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. And the Saints finally are able to have an empty possession for MidAmerica Nazarene. Let's see if they can turn that into points on this end of the floor. Lewis Holy over to Lewis McGlasson. Bajemi fakes on Brown, starts to drive, picks up his dribble, bounces into Holy. Holy works against Pedro Lopez, layup no. And the rebound tapped in the hands of Darnell Miller. Miller on the move, up over Darius Wright, no good. And Nadav Gerner grabs the board. Back-to-back stops for St. Francis. Darius Wright for 3, got it. And it's back to a 6-point game. so a quick 5-0 spurt for St. Francis has them feeling alive once again. And a travel. I think Jake Alexander was looking for the jump stop there, but he kind of came to a stop and then jumped. So a turnover committed by MidAmerica Nazarene. And for either of these teams today, whenever they've started to get hot, they've shot themselves in the foot with a turnover. That's the 14th of the game committed by MidAmerica Nazarene. The Saints have committed 17 of them. A lot of turnovers in this one. St. Francis has scored the last 5 in a row. They can make it 7 or 8 straight points on this possession. Inside, wide open, Darius Wright lays it up and gets the roll. Assisted by Nadav Gerner. St. Francis is within 4. This is as close as it's been for the most part here in the second half. It was a 2-point game at halftime. St. Francis has not led in the second half. Mishandled by Trey Brown, and the Saints take it away. They've got numbers. Darius Wright takes it in himself and scores over Lopez. Darius Wright has heated up. He's got 7 points in just the last couple of minutes. And Wright now has 9 for the game as a timeout is called from the Pioneers bench. 9:25 to play in the game, 61-59. St. Francis is on a 9-0 run. MidAmerica Nazarene, which had been red hot from the field, has now gone cold after making 9 out of 10 shots. They've missed 3 of their last 4, and St. Francis has been able to keep their hot shooting going on the other end. The Saints at 61% now from the field. The Pioneers are shooting 53% from the field, which is a very good number, but it's not an uncharacteristic one for the Pioneers. This team shoots better than 50% from the field for the season. A very good offensive ball club. These two sides have put up very similar overall numbers this year. Entering play today, the Saints were averaging 85 points a game, Pioneers 84. Defensively, St. Francis was allowing 71. MidAmerica had been allowing 68. So very similar in terms of the point totals, not necessarily always similar in how they get there. But we have seen today a pretty evenly matched game. Saints led the majority of the first half, although there were 8 lead changes, or rather 8 ties and 5 lead changes. MidAmerica Nazarene has led the entire second half. That lead is currently in jeopardy, though, as the Pioneers inbound it up by just 2 points. Saints have come up with stops on 3 consecutive possessions. MidAmerica just 1 of 4 on their last 4 field goal attempts. Brown lobs it in for Brady. Darius Wright knocks it away and out of bounds. Stays with the Pioneers. 14 on the shot clock. There's a wet spot on the floor, I think. So they'll wipe that up before we see the inbounds pass here. Trey Brown, senior from Topeka, Kansas. Set to inbound it here. Brown has had a heck of a ball game. 18 points. Leads all scores, primarily thanks to his sharp shooting from beyond the arc. 5 of 6 on 3-pointers. He made his first 5. Inbounded to Darnell Miller, who passes out to Pedro Lopez. And off to Brown. Just 6 seconds to shoot here for Anthony Brown. Brown loses the ball. It's taken away by the Saints. McGlasson ahead for Gerner. Nadav Gerner fires it back to McGlasson. Layup no good. McGlasson may be moving a little bit too quickly right there. The Saints unable to tie the score. That ball goes through the hands of Lopez and out of bounds. Off on the Pioneers. Another turnover committed by MidAmerica Nazarene. And that'll allow the Saints to slow it down a little bit. Both teams were out of control on their most recent possession, moving it a tad too fast. 2-point game here. The Saints have scored 9 consecutive points. They can tie or take the lead right here. Nadav Gerner on the outside, looking in for McGlasson. Well defended by Anthony Brown. Instead, he bounces to Lewis Holy. There's a handoff to Darius Wright, flipped over to Gerner. Nadav Gurner drives, gives it to Holy. Holy against Lopez, bounces it off the foot of Darnell Miller. That's a kick. That resets the shot clock to 20 seconds. So possession looked like it was going nowhere for the Fighting Saints, but they get helped out as Holy's wild pass hits the foot of Miller. Nearly sent into the backcourt. Lewis McGlasson able to save it. 12 to shoot for McGlasson. Bounced into Holy. Lewis Holy over to McGlasson once again. Lewis McGlasson walks it to the right. Into a double team. Throws up a runner and scores. We're tied at 61. First time we've been tied since it was 38-38 late in the first half. An 11-0 run for the Fighting Saints. MidAmerica Nazarene has not scored in nearly 4 minutes. Darnell Miller trying to change that run. Miller, wild shot is good. Now I say wild in the way that he twisted his body as he went up for it, but not in intention. It was a well-controlled shot. MidAmerica back in front. That tie was very short-lived. Here's Lewis Holy. Out to Nadav Gurner. Gurner into the corner. McGlasson fakes the three. Kicks it out to Maxwell Topia. 6 to shoot for Lewis Holy. Holy bounces to a cutting Maxwell Topia. The layup is good. Perfect execution for the Fighting Saints. 10th time today that we're tied. 7-11 on the clock. 63 all. Here's Brown up to Pedro Lopez. Trey Brown on the left side, guarded tightly by Gurner. 8 to shoot, deep three, Darnell Miller. Off the front iron, rebounded by Rehana Maxwell Topia, and the Saints can take their first lead since the first half. Three-pointer Holy off the back rim, long rebound to Maxwell Topia. Lewis Holy does not take those threes often. Shoots them at a high percentage when he does, but unable to give the Saints the lead right there. Bounced into Holy. Holy working against Lopez. Fights it up and draws the foul. So Lewis Holy is headed to the free throw line. Fourth foul on Pedro Lopez. Just the third on the team. Lewis Holy, 9 of 12 from the free throw line this season, has 2 shots. And the first one gives the Saints the lead back. First time they've been ahead since it was 32-30. It's our 6th lead change of the game. Holy makes them both his first 2 points of the game. He's had a good game overall, though. 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and an assist. Comes up with a couple of big scores here. St. Francis is on a 15-2 run. Alexander hands it off to Anthony Brown. Brown gives it up to Trey Brown. Working around the perimeter, starts to drive. Floater from Brown off the glass and in. Just a little kiss off the backboard there. Trey Brown has got 20 points for the game. Holy passes to Darius Wright. Layup is blocked by Darnell Miller, but it's a foul on Miller. We got a good one going here. 5:47 to play. 65-65. And Darius Wright is at the line for 2 foul shots. First one is good. Wright has not missed from the line this year in 9 attempts. Tillery and Tobias check in. McGlasson and Gurner check out. As usual, the Saints have used a lot of their bench today. They've got 11 different players who have appeared in every game, including tonight. MidAmerica typically only goes 7 deep, and that's exactly what we've seen today. 67-65. St. Francis has the lead. Miller travels. Darius Wright picked him up defensively, and Miller ran out of room underneath. 17-4 is the run for St. Francis right now. And they can make it a 2-possession lead on this possession. Carlos Tobias bounces to the right. Passes to Bajemi. Back to Tobias at the top. Into the corner. Darius Wright, long 2, misses short. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Cameron Brady, but picked up by Trey Brown. Brown walks it to the left, guarded by Russell Tillery. Now he drives. Brown to the hoop, lays it in, and ties the score. He has been the go-to guy today. Trey Brown, especially here in the second half. He has been fantastic. Brown's got 11 points in the half. 4 of 5 from the field. 8 of 11 shooting for the game. Joey Bajemi outside. No look pass to Lewis. Holy knocked away from Holy, who dives on top of it and calls timeout. So a hustle play by Holy, and the Saints are able to get the timeout with 6 on the shot clock. They nearly turned it over. And one of the main reasons that they are back in this game after trailing by 11 just a few minutes ago is the fact that they have not been turning the ball over. They had a big problem with turnovers early in the game, but it's been about 10 minutes since they committed their last one. 17 for the game. Still a bigger number than Ryan Marks would like to see, but again, none in 10 minutes or so. So they have cleaned up that aspect of their play today, and though their shooting has calmed down a little bit, not a lot, they're still well over 50% for the game. They shot 59% in the first half, 58% so far here in the second half. They were up over 60% for the game as of a couple of minutes ago. They slowed it down just a tad, but not enough to really impact the stats. It's just been an impressive offensive display for both teams in this game, and the point totals are not as high as they might otherwise be if it weren't for all the turnovers. 35 of them total in the game, but that's been better in the second half than it was in the first. Saints come out of the timeout with Tillery, Bajemi, Tobias Fahey. I think Darius Wright is the 5th. They've got 6 seconds on the shot clock. Brady, Brown, Alexander, Brown, and Miller on the floor for MidAmerica. MidAmerica Nazarene in from Olathe, Kansas. Trying to head back home with a 2-0 record on the weekend. They've got some work to do as Tillery drives, scores off the glass. Brown tried to draw the foul, headed to the ground, but nothing was called, and St. Francis takes the lead back. 69-67. Nice move by Brown around Tillery to the basket, lays in another. 24 points for Trey Brown, and he ties the score again. 13th time we've been tied today. MidAmerica Nazarene went ahead by 11 points in the second half. Saints responded with an 11-0 run to tie it up. Here's Russell Tillery missing on the jumper. And now for the first time in a while, MidAmerica has the ball with a strong opportunity to take the lead. We've got a whistle here as a couple of guys reached in on Brown and a foul called on St. Francis. This is on Tillery. It's Tillery's 3rd foul. 6th on the Saints, so they've hit their limit. Maxwell, Topia, and Holy come in for Wright and Fahey. Lewis Holy got A short rest there, giving him an extra minute to steel himself for the stretch run. Trey Brown inbounds to Cameron Brady, who's had a quiet night. Off to Jake Alexander. Alexander drives, gets to the roll around the rim. Nice finish for Jake Alexander. He's on the board. His first 2 points of the game. MidAmerica Nazarene has the lead. Joey Bajemi, deep three to take the lead back. He does. Anthony Brown gave him just a little bit too much space. Bajemi took advantage. And Joey Bajemi's got 13 points. St. Francis is ahead by 1. Fighting Saints now 9 of 17 shooting three-pointers. Darnell Miller working hard inside, banks it in over Carlos Tobias. And MidAmerica Nazarene is in front again. Bajemi had the three on the last possession. Now he hands it off to Tillery. Tillery gets the screen from Holy, pulls up at the free throw line, kicks to Tobias. Steps in, long two, in and out. Rebound Anthony Brown. And now a whistle. We've got an injured man for MidAmerica Nazarene. Darnell Miller is shaken up here. 2.5 minutes to play. Miller limping on that left leg. He wants to stay in. The officials are going to make him come out at least for a moment. They wipe up the spot on the floor where he tripped. He says he's okay. So we may see him back in there before long. Timeout called. MidAmerica Nazarene is going to talk things over, check with Miller to see if he's all right. They lead 73-72. We've got 2 minutes, 32 seconds on the clock, and we've had a heck of a game tonight. First half featured 8 ties, 5 lead changes. MidAmerica Nazarene looked as though they were pulling away early in the second half. They scored the first 6 points of the half. And that gave them an 8-point lead. They eventually built that lead to as big as 11 with about 12 minutes to play. And that's when St. Francis got hot again after a bad start to the second half. They got on a roll. An 11-0 run tied the score back up. And we've been back and forth ever since. So after 8 ties, 5 lead changes in the first half, here in the second, we've seen 5 ties and 4 lead changes. And currently it's MidAmerica on top, 73-72. They got the bucket on their last possession from Jake Alexander. That Alexander two-pointer, his first points of the game, put his side up by 1. They came up with a stop on the defensive end, and now they've got the ball back with a chance to extend that lead. Cameron Brady will inbound it to Trey Brown. Drew Smith is into the game for Darnell Miller. Brown gets across half court. Brown over to Anthony Brown. In for Brady, and Lewis Holy knocks it loose. Ball is picked up by Rehana Maxwell-Topia, the 19th turnover of the game for the Pioneers. Big possession for the Saints as they try to reclaim the lead. Russell Tillery drives. Tillery layup. Got it. Nice drive, Russell Tillery, and the Saints do indeed move back in front. What a game here. Another late lead change as Brown has the ball knocked loose by Tillery. He tracks it back down, though. Trey Brown at the top, drives. Brown into contact. He's fouled by Lewis Holy. Trey Brown has been just fantastic here in the second half. He was good in the first half, too, don't get me wrong. But he has put the team on his shoulders here in the second half. Every time they've needed a bucket, he's been the guy who's had the ball in his hands, and more often than not, he's gotten the job done as he ties the score here at 74. 25 points for Brown. It's on 75% shooting, 9 of 12 from the field. And perfect from the line on this trip. Carlos Cevallos, once again with a 1-point deficit. Sends it to the corner, and Tillery. Tillery along the baseline, out to Holy. 3-point attempt is good. Lewis Holy from the outside. Had only one 3-point attempt this season. Coming into today, he's got 2 today. He's now 2 of 3 shooting from the season. Brown for the answer, no good. Cameron Brady offensive rebound, he kicks it out. Trey Brown drives into the lane. Brown dishes it off to Cameron Brady, who flushes it with 2 hands and ties the score at 77. 11 points now for Cameron Brady. And a tie game here in the final minute. Carlos Cevallos bounces to Lewis Holy. Holy's got a free pass to the basket, and Holy gives St. Francis the lead back. Cameron Brady over pursued on the pass. That freed up the path for Holy. And he's had a big second half now. 7 points for Holy. All of them since halftime. Anthony Brown is called for the travel. So another turnover for the Pioneers. That's number 20 in the game. And the Saints have an opportunity here to run some clock. They can all but put this game away if they can use up the whole shot clock here and get some points out of it. Tillery into Holy. 15 to shoot. Lewis Holy bounces to a cutting Bajemi, taken away. The first turnover committed by St. Francis in nearly 15 minutes. It comes at a very costly moment. Shot clock is off for the Pioneers, down by 2. Trey Brown passes out to Cameron Brady. Brady back to Brown, 7 seconds to play. Brown drives, gets all the way inside, floats it up. No, there's the tip, second chance, no, third chance is good for Jake Alexander, and we are tied with 1.9 on the clock. Offensive rebounds have been so key for MidAmerica Nazarene all game. And here with the contest on the line, they're able to score on their third chance after Brown's initial drive netted them a missed shot. The first tip did not go, the second one did. The 13th offensive rebound of the game. And Jake Alexander has tied the score at 79. St. Francis today has been out-rebounded 30-15. They had a problem with turnovers early in the game, not so much here in the second half. They've been shooting the ball spectacularly all night, 60% from the field. And they've really played an all-around excellent game, with the one exception being they just have not been able to box out MidAmerica. The Pioneers, again, 13 offensive rebounds. They've turned those into 13 second chance points. And in the critical moment, they're able to pick up 12 and 13. And those second chance points totals 79-79. We look to be headed to overtime, but it's not over yet. The Saints will have an inbounds play with 2 seconds on the clock, 1.9 technically. They do have to go the length of the floor here. They're inbounding from underneath their own basket. So we'll see if the Pioneers elect to put somebody on the ball. It looks like Anthony Brown is staying in the front court, or in the back court rather. So Brown will be on the ball. Carter Fahey is the inbounder for St. Francis. Bajemi and Cevallos at half court. Cevallos comes towards the ball. Fahey, baseball pass, intercepted. Miller at the buzzer, off the back rim, and we are headed to overtime. A very risky play from St. Francis as Fahey threw it all the way across half court. Miller intercepted it, and a chance to win it for MidAmerica Nazarene hits the back iron and sends us to overtime. So it has been a very competitive back and forth night, and only appropriate Then in a game that featured 16 tie scores, it ends on a tie score as well. We're going to play an extra 5 minutes here. This is game 1 of 2 tonight. East-West University takes on William Woods. When this one ends, originally scheduled for an 8 o'clock start time, that one is not going to start at 8 o'clock. The way this one is going, we might be playing it all night. East-West and William Woods might have to wait until the morning. I don't think so. William Woods will be back here tomorrow to take on St. Francis in the finale of this event. That's a 4 o'clock game tomorrow afternoon. But MidAmerica Nazarene first is going to try to finish 2-0 here this weekend. They took out East-West 103-75 yesterday. And now they are headed to overtime for the second time this year. They defeated Bellevue in double overtime back in late October. For St. Francis, this is the second overtime game of the season. They very nearly, the Fighting Saints, just lost on a buzzer beater for the second time this season. Their only loss did come on a shot as time expired for Calumet St. Joe's, which turned a 58-57 lead into a 59-58 final. Trey Brown leads all scorers with 26 points. Carlos Tobias leads the Saints with 14. Each team has 4 players in double figures, but true to form coming into today, it has been top-heavy in terms of scoring for MidAmerica and for the Saints. Very balanced. It's the way these two teams have played all year. Lewis Holy will go against Anthony Brown on the tip. It is won by Brown. E.J. Charles typically does the tips for St. Francis as Cameron Brady lays it up. No. Second chance. Good for Alexander and a foul. MidAmerica strikes fast out of the tip. And they can make it a 3-point play here to start the overtime period. I was just about to say, E.J. Charles usually does the tips for St. Francis, but he fouled out after just 8 minutes in today's game. Alexander misses on the free throw. So just a 2-point play. And the Saints get their first possession of the overtime period. But how appropriate that MidAmerica Nazarene not only tied the score late on an offensive rebound. Joey Bajemi misses on the 3. Rebound for Alexander. They also get their first overtime points on an offensive rebound as well. Now 15 second chance points for the team that has out-rebounded St. Francis 33-16. And undoubtedly part of that is because E.J. Charles hasn't been out there. Charles is one of the Saints' best rebounders. Alexander drives, layup is good. Jake Alexander had just 2 points all game, and now he has scored the last 6 for MidAmerica Nazarene. Carlos Tobias into Rehana Maxwell Topia, the right elbow. Back to Tobias. Tobias drives, kicks. Maxwell Topia, open look. His three-pointer is good. 1-point game. The Saints, though, to finish that rebounding point on the season, have out-rebounded their opposition by 10 per game. So this has been very uncharacteristic of them today. Brown is fouled by Lewis Holy. He blew by him. Holy tried to time up his jump to get the block. Ended up getting him across the head. It's been a tough game for Anthony Brown. He's been beat up a little bit, a couple of hard fouls against him. He's been very efficient, 6 of 9 shooting, but this is a guy who scores 19 a game. Tonight he's got just 12. So he makes the first free throw. Again, just 9 shots for him tonight in regulation. He averages 12 per game. Holy checks out. Fahey is in. There's the third foul on Lewis Holy. Pioneers are in the double bonus. The Saints have not even reached the bonus yet. Pioneers still have 2 fouls to give with 3.5 minutes to play in overtime. Maxwell Topia bounces to Fahey, nearly thrown away. Fahey keeps it alive. Handoff to Tobias. Tough defense on this possession from the Pioneers, playing very tight. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Fahey drives. He's fouled by Pedro Lopez. Or did they get Alexander on the reach? The foul is on. No, the foul is on Pedro Lopez. So that's his 5th. So Lopez is done. Each team now has had one man foul out. Lopez 2 points and an assist today in 18 minutes. Tillery looking to get it in. Having some trouble. Finally lobs it into Rihanna Maxwell-Topia. Nice fake from Maxwell-Topia. Gets inside. Now pressured in a double team. Puts it up and scores. There's a foul on MidAmerica. And he's going to the line to try to make this a 3-point play. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia. 5 points already in the overtime. And a chance to make it 6 right now as he's got a season high 11 points in the game. This for the tie. We're even at 85. 12 points for Rihanna Maxwell-Topia. Came into play today, averaging 3 per game. Darnell Miller backs it up outside the arc. Now he steps into a 3. It's short. Rebound of Ibujemi. Saints have not led in overtime. They can change that on this possession. Joey Ibujemi slows it down. Bounced over to Carter Fahey. Fahey starts his dribble. Picks it up. Passes back to Tobias. 12 on the shot clock. Carlos Tobias puts it on the floor. Back to Fahey. Fahey, good drive around Brady, and he lays it in. Carter Fahey, 9 points in the game. Quick answer on the other end. Anthony Brown misses the layup. Rebound tipped out to Russell Tillery. Here come the Saints. Tillery all the way to the hoop, and Tillery lays it in. St. Francis has gone on a 7-0 run. And MidAmerica Nazarene calls timeout with 2 minutes even on the clock. 89-85, a barn burner here at the Sullivan Center. And St. Francis now in the driver's seat. They have led today for a total of about 27% of the game. Most of that in the first half. Remember, MidAmerica Nazarene came out strong in the second half and looked to be putting the Saints away. They were up 61-50. St. Francis tied it up with an 11-0 run. And we have been back and forth ever since. The updated total 18 times this game now has been tied. We've seen 13 lead changes. St. Francis has a 2-score lead, which has not happened much in the second half. Really hasn't happened much in the game. Their biggest lead all game has been 6. But after they fought all the way back to take the lead late in the second half, we went back and forth, and neither team could move ahead, it seemed, by more than 2 points. The Pioneers scored the first 4 in overtime, but it's been all Saints ever since. They've scored 7 in a row, and they've got a 2-score lead with the Pioneers taking possession here, needing a basket. They've got 24 on the shot clock. They inbound from just beyond half court. Holy back in for the Saints. Maxwell-Topia, Bujemi, Tobias, and Tillery are with him on the floor. It's Brown, Brady, Alexander, and Miller for MidAmerica. This is Trey Brown on the drive with the left hand. He pulls up, gets the contact, and scores. Trey Brown, huge all night. He has not been the go-to guy so far in overtime. That's actually been Jake Alexander. But Brown has been the guy all evening when things have started to go wrong, who has put the team on his back and led them to the points that they've needed. A big 3-point play for Trey Brown right there. He's got 29 points in the game, and it's 89-88. Pioneers needed to score on that possession. They did. Now can the Saints get a basket back? Nearly a travel there. Tobias keeps it alive after Holy almost lost the ball as well. Disjointed possession so far, but the Saints are able to slow it down and reset. Tobias takes it inside the perimeter. Now he's stuck. A leaner with the right hand, misses it underhand on the shot. Rebound nearly knocked out of bounds. The Saints thought it hit the baseline. But MidAmerica Nazarene does take the ball away with a chance to move ahead. Brown working against Tobias. Trey Brown drives, swatted out of bounds by Lewis Holy. 16 to shoot. MidAmerica Nazarene will keep the ball. Just the 6th shot that Trey Brown has missed tonight. He's 10 of 16. This is the first block shot of the game for the Saints. Lobbed into Cameron Brady. Brady takes a few dribbles towards the three-point line. Gives it up to Darnell Miller, and Miller is called for an offensive foul. He lowered his shoulder on Holy. The Pioneers maybe even could have been called for a foul earlier in the possession. Cameron Brady kind of pushed off on Holy to create some space. Nothing was called that time. Second time around, Miller lowered his shoulder, and he was called for the foul. So that's number 7 on MidAmerica Nazarene, which is probably good for them. Trailing late in the game. I think they want at this point for fouls to send St. Francis to the line. Tillery to Maxwell Topia. He takes it to the rim. Maxwell Topia, turn around, up and in. Rehana Maxwell Topia has 8 points in overtime. 14 for the game, which is tied with Carlos Tobias for the team lead. Timeout called by MidAmerica Nazarene. 37.7 on the clock. 91-88 is the score, and I said it the last time they had the ball and called the timeout that they really needed a basket on that possession. They ended up getting a 3-point play. They need to score right here for sure. If they don't, then they'll have to foul St. Francis the rest of the way. In fact, even if they do score here, they may need to foul when the Saints get the ball back, depending on whether their score is 2 or 3 points and how much time's left on the clock. But there's been no secret today. Trey Brown has been the guy in these situations. You would assume he'll get the ball in his hands. The point guard will, as he has throughout the game, probably try to create something off the dribble. He has gotten to the basket regularly down the stretch. 29 points for the senior Brown. 10 of 16 from the field. He made his first 5 3-pointers, but has missed on his last 2. But creating action towards the rim has been the key throughout the game for MidAmerica because it has created second chances for them. They've outscored St. Francis 15-2 on second chance points. And that includes the 2 in the final seconds of regulation that sent this game to overtime. That was on the 3rd chance, actually, on that possession. Trey Brown trying to get the ball, creates some space from Tillery, and receives the pass. He gives it off to Anthony Brown. Here's Darnell Miller. Miller working against Carlos Tobias. Picks up his dribble, passes off to Alexander. Jake Alexander drives. Alexander, layup is good. 24 seconds on the clock. They'll look for the quick steal or a foul, and they go for the quick foul instead, and it's a flagrant foul. They call it intentional on Darnell Miller. Of course, it was intentional, but he went at Tobias hard. I was surprised that they even went for a foul that quickly with 24 seconds on the clock. They had plenty of time to trap, try to create a turnover before giving the foul. But Miller is called for the hard foul, and that means 2 shots for Tobias and the ball back for St. Francis. Tobias hits on the first of his 2 free throws. I'm even more surprised by that quick foul because the ball went into Carlos Tobias' hands, a very good free throw shooter. And he makes them both. So obviously the fact that it was flagrant was detrimental to MidAmerica Nazarene, but just the decision to foul so quickly there is a little bit of a head scratcher. And now they're right back in the same situation. Only 1 second off the clock, but now they're down by 4 as the Saints inbound again. Inbounds pass nearly intercepted by Jake Alexander, but he couldn't keep it in bounds. The Jemmy inbounds from the baseline this time. Into Tobias. This time they do try to trap. Tobias gets away from Miller, though. Sends it down the floor to Tillery. And now the Pioneers have to foul. Miller fouls Bajemi. Number 4 on Darnell Miller. Once again, they send a good free throw shooter to the line, although everybody on the floor right now for the Saints shoots them at a high percentage. Joey Bajemi at 78% on the season. The worst free throw shooter on the floor is Lewis Holy. And Holy's at 75% for the season. 1-1 here for Bajemi. MidAmerica Nazarene needs him to miss the first. No rebounders in for the Saints. Bajemi hits that crucial first free throw. 13.7 on the clock, and regardless of whether he makes this one or not, it will be a 2-possession game. He does get them both. Pioneers need a quick score here. Trey Brown races it across the timeline. Brown takes it down into the corner. Out to Anthony Brown. Fakes the shot, fires a long 2 and misses it short. Offensive rebound. Alexander no good on the putback. Holy comes down with a rebound and the Saints win. 95-90 the final score. St. Francis takes it in overtime, and an excellent ball game today. Exciting all the way through. And St. Francis lost a late lead. They were up by 2 in the closing seconds. MidAmerica Nazarene was able to tie it up and send it to overtime, but they were not able to keep that magic going in the overtime period. Actually, they scored a quick 4 points and looked to be taking control in overtime, but St. Francis played almost perfect basketball from that point on as they outscore MidAmerica 16-11 in the overtime period. Carlos Tobias helped to ice the game away with 2 late free throws, and he led the team with 16 points. And now the two teams kind of jawing at each other as the Saints were emphatically cheering MidAmerica Nazarene off the floor. Trey Brown went into the circle, and the Saints are waving on their way off. These two teams have never faced one another before. They're not likely to see each other again anytime soon, so I don't know that this rivalry will fester too much, but the two teams don't like each other too much at this exact moment, as the Saints do come away with a 95-90 victory. Again, Carlos Tobias led the team with 16 points. He was one of 5 Saints in double figures. Joey Bajemi finished with 15. Rehana Maxwell-Topia a season-high 14, including 8 of them in the overtime period. Darius Wright had 11. Russell Tillery 13. 9 points for Carter Fahey. Lewis Holy finished with 7 and a team-leading 8 rebounds. He also had 3 steals in the game. 6 assists today for Russell Tillery to go along with his 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. The Saints shot 62% from the field for the game, 12 of 21. Just sensational shooting from beyond the arc today. MidAmerica Nazarene shot 53% overall, 37% on 3-pointers. They were led by Trey Brown, who had a fantastic game, 29 points and 10 of 16 shooting, but could not come up with the big shot one more time down the stretch in overtime. Darnell Miller also finished with 20 in the game for MidAmerica, who also had 5 players in double figures. Anthony Brown had 14, Cameron Brady 11, and Jake Alexander finished with 10, including the final 2 of regulation and then 6 points in overtime. But St. Francis comes away with the win. They improve their record to 5-1 on the season, their 4th victory in a row. MidAmerica Nazarene falls to 6-4 with another tough loss. All 4 of their losses have been closely contested games, and all of them against good teams as well. 2 of them against ranked teams. And Saints are not ranked, but they've got a chance to get there if they keep playing the way they have. 4 consecutive victories. They'll try to make it 5 in a row tomorrow against William Woods, and I would imagine Saints will stick around. Certainly the coaches will stick around for this one. I guess a lot of the players will also, to get a look at William Woods, because they're on the floor right now and they'll be out there next against East West University. East West lost to MidAmerica Nazarene yesterday, and today they get a chance to avenge that defeat and pick up 1 win in Joliet this weekend. East West against William Woods coming up next. We'll have the broadcast of that one for you in just a few moments. About a half hour away from the start, we'll also have the game tomorrow when William Woods takes on St. Francis at 4 o'clock. That'll do it for today's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in, and don't go anywhere because more basketball is coming up in just about a half hour, so we will rejoin you for that, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow for St. Francis basketball as well as they take on William Woods. Once again, Saints defeat the Pioneers 95-90 in overtime. We'll be back in just a bit. For now, Terry Bonadonna signing off. We'll talk to you soon.